Good evening, folks. Hope everybody's day is going well. We're out here at Volkhov tonight. Haven't been here in a while. Hey, Canadian, how's it going? Coming out here, my main reason for coming out here today is that I needed to restock on mayfly larvae, and so pretty much everywhere is sold out of those. So I figured, well, if I'm going to be here on Volkhov to pick that up anyways, let's try some teletroll. I'm going to go ahead and grab... You know, I use these larvae enough. I'm just going to grab the 300 pieces. I am. Done. All right. So let's see some strategies I want to go for out here. I know at nighttime we can go for burbot and eel. And during the day we want to try to go for salmon and pike. So it's going to be nighttime here soon. So I guess let's go ahead and get two lines set up, one for each of those. So line one, this will be our burbot line. Keep a size 4 hook on there, I suppose, and let's do nightcrawler with pieces of fish. Hey, free rolling and sneaky, how's it going, guys? Getting ready to just getting some lines set up here to get on the water and see if we can make the teletrolling work out here. So I've got one line set up for burbot, and then this one, once the sun comes up, will be set up for pike and for Ladoga salmon. So let's go with some leeches and pieces of fish on this one. Go. All right, grab us a ticket. Boy, I miss these cheap boat tickets. Where's everybody else fishing at tonight? I know Left for Mush, poor guy's been working on trying to get a trophy Vindus for his telescopic challenge all day. It's just having no luck. I'll have to send him some of our own luck for that. Alright, so does anybody know any active spots on Volkhov right now? And I can focus on those. If not, I'll try some of my usual spots for burbot until the sun comes back up. Go ahead and make our way over that way. Hey there, Lork. Welcome to the chat. You're at a winding today, Canadian, going after some trophy crayfish or something? Alright, just about over here to my usual burbot spot. And I think while we get through this narrow channel, let's go ahead and just drop a line in the water. And see if we have any luck trolling on our way there. Again, nighttime here, I'm going to be going for burbot, and if we're lucky, eel. Then when the sun comes up, we'll look for pike and Ladoga salmon. Going after some golden tench. It's hard to specifically target the golden ones. And they like to share the same bait as a lot of other things, so they're kind of you might get lucky and get one on the line type of deal. Hope Amber treats you well though. I think there's a official competition at Amber Lake later this month, which ought to shake the spawns up there quite a bit after that. That's kind of what happened with Old Bird from this competition last weekend. And I did try, there's a pretty active spot over on Tunguska right now for spinning over there on the small stream where there's like the little waterfall coming into this other stream. It's been very active for brown trout and grayling lately, but unfortunately just the current there makes it very tricky to be able to, like, you can use one telescopic rod at a time. Trying to use 3, the current just messes it up. I didn't have any luck out there, unfortunately. Seems like Actuba's been active for trophy sturgeon and sterlet, though. Everybody's looking for those. Seems like they're catching them on mole crickets. Alright, so I'm gonna kind of just slowly troll up through here, and then when I get up here to the shore, there's some reeds that I like to cast into for burbot. We'll go there until the sun comes back up. Anybody catch any interesting fish so far today? Any rares or some trophies? While we're trolling, let me take a look at the Kelly records for Volkhov. It's like asp are going after flies and grasshoppers and stuff. All right. I bet they have catfish here. I have to go after that at some point. Surprisingly, I don't see. Okay, so the pike, yeah, going after the same. That's what I figured. Necron piece of fish. I don't see any Ladoga salmon on here, which I wonder if I know you can catch Ladoga salmon on telescopic in the archipelago. So I wonder if we can catch one, we'll get a global burst here, which would be pretty neat. The one thing I'm thinking about doing while we're trolling during the daytime is I might put a couple spinning reels out behind me just to get an idea of where stuff is biting. If we find a spot where some stuff hits on there, we can stop and focus on telefishing there from the boat. Alright, so right over here is where I like to fish for burbot. So we can go ahead and pull onto the shore here. We'll see how this works. I've always done it on bottom rigs here in the past because I think the current actually pushes the floats towards you. So don't know if we'll be able to do 3 lines here or not. Let's give it a try. And drop this to like a 2.5 meter depth. If it's touching the bottom, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, so the current does push it towards the shoreline. See if we, even if it's touching the bottom, it's going to push it towards it. And I was hoping that it might just drag on the bottom enough. Okay, so there you go. So if it's deep enough, it'll stay out there. That's what I like to see. Let's go ahead and put another line in the same situation. 2. And 3rd line. I haven't checked this, like I really haven't fished Volkhov in, it's been almost 2 months here. So I don't know if this spot is still good for burbot, but last time I was here, it was. Let's go ahead and throw a little bit of, throw some roach ground bait out there. That's got some meat in it. Yeah. There's shoveling action on. You got some night crawlers. Night's tea is Earl Grey, still cooling down. Yeah, if anybody knows any active spots to check for salmon or pike, I'm all ears for that. Otherwise, I'll just kind of do, I guess I'll do my normal trolling routes if I was doing like spinner trolling and see what we get. One thing I was playing with off camera last night was out at Tunguska. If you have your line set deep enough and you're fishing from the boat, you can see the hook down at the bottom of the water and watch the fish hit it. So I've been trying to get a feel for some of the fish out there as far as how they move the hook versus what it does to the float. And wasn't able to gather a whole lot of correlation out of it. Unfortunately, my goal was to try and maybe see if there's better hook timing for some of them, but still fun to watch them hit the line through the waters. Tunguska and Quarry are about the only places you can really do that. Maybe Yama, I don't know. I haven't been to Yama yet. I don't know if the water's clear there. I am finally just about a quarter of the way through level 31 now. Hopefully here in the next tomorrow or Thursday, I'll start my first of the 2 streams for my last trip to the Norwegian Sea, and maybe we can get a good bit of XP out of that, and most I'm hoping to get enough silver to buy all the ingredients to get bait harvesting all the way to 100. No bites yet. Maybe this burbot spot's dried up. Oh, here we go. Now we got some action. Good chance to set the hook. Dragging it along there. Let it go. All right, so it looks like the bite pattern for them here is going to be when they're dragging the line to the side. They're not going to actually pull it all the way down. We know that. So next time we see some movement, I'll react accordingly. The bait scoop here. Hey, some cockchafer larvae. Love to see it. Earlier, I got one of those plus a mole cricket on the same scoop. That was some extreme luck right there. One thing I'd love to see them do in the as a long-term change to the game, as it pertains to bait harvesting, would be instead of your level being basically lifting restrictions for what sort of things you can catch, the level should just purely be your chance of a successful catch and the quantity of what you catch, and then they could make it so that when you're scooping or shoveling at a lake, whatever is like an active bait on that lake at the time would be what you can catch while shoveling and scooping. I think that would be a really neat change. It would also take some of the guesswork out of like, oh, what should I try using today? Oh, nice. Congrats on that blue tag buffalo there, free rolling. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw I saw on the official Discord, there's a pretty active buffalo spot out there. It's awesome. You got a blue tag. Now you got to follow that up by getting that same blue. You got to release that blue tag and follow it up and catch it on a telescopic. That's your challenge now. Which I want to take a poll here for those of you that have caught blue tags. I haven't caught one myself yet. The ones that are large enough for you to release back in the water, how many of you are releasing those versus taking them and selling them, mounting them as trophies? I'm kind of curious what the general consensus on what people prefer to do with the blue tags in that scenario. I know the smaller blue tags you can't do it, which is kind of a shame. I don't know why they made it that way. I'd love to be able to like, catch a blue tag crayfish and name it and throw it back in the water, catch it down the road. All right, now that the sun's coming up, let's pull these in. We got one bite, which was, I guess, something, but let's get out there on the water and try to get us some pike. See, this one has a size 1 hook, so I think that's the one we'll use for going after the pike. Stuck on the shore. Yeah, just push off a few times. All right, so if we're going for pike primarily, we need to stick to, in my experience, this area and this area are 2 good spots for pike, at least with trolling with spinners, so we'll try sticking to those, and I guess we'll keep the line at 1 meter deep. And do I have any spinner rods set up right now that I can trust in this water? You have on you. You got the Titan. Okay, I want to put this line on as well, just to get an idea if we're getting something that's biting or not, and stick to that area. And throw the old snatcher orange in the water. Yeah. I don't know, does anybody else have an area like this little stretch right here? For some reason, it's very framey for me. There's only 2 spots I found in the game where this happens. This spot right here and where that that big willow tree is on Seversky Donitz. For some reason, I get really bad frame rate issues. I don't know if my mic's picking that up. It sounds like there's some dogs in the neighborhood fighting. All right. I wonder, some of this water is pretty shallow. I may have to stick to... I feel like 1 meter shouldn't be too deep. Okay, if anybody knows any good pike or Ladoga salmon spots right now, the trolling routes that have been especially good, definitely let me know. Let's see. Where are we at? Go this direction a bit. I really haven't heard anybody mention Volkhov lately, so I'm guessing it's probably pretty dead here right now. Which is unfortunate. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, realistically my main reason for coming out here was to get a bunch of mayfly larvae because they've been sold out everywhere. Alright, coming up on the check mark and turn like that. In the past, I've had a lot of luck in this little check mark hole for pike. See if that holds true. Nothing yet. Hydrate. All right. You got it. Cheers. The other thing I'm wondering is, oh, okay, we got something on that line. So let's see. It's around. Okay, so yes, this area is good for pike then. Let me kick the engine off for a second. And what size hook do I have on here? Is size 4 hooks. Okay, so let me swap my setup here. Actually, I think this line is already on the size 4. Yeah, all right, so let's go with the size 4. We'll keep the night crawlers and fish for now, but we might change it to maybe leeches and pieces of fish if we don't get anything picked up on it. And that was a 3 meter crankbait, so let's actually drop this down to 2.75 meter. Okay, so yeah, this should be a good depth. This is on slider, yes, okay. So we picked that one up right around here. Let's just kind of sit in the spot for a bit and try a few different areas with the float, see if we get another one of those on here. We'll try to figure out which direction is this current moving. It looks like it's moving this direction. Ooh, someone just got a world record Atlantic halibut over 300 kilo. That's gonna be worth a lot of silver right there. All right, so interestingly, even though if you look at the animation, it looks like the current is going to our left. The float is going to our right. Interesting little mismatch there. I wonder, what do you think, Canadian? Do you think that the pike would be more likely to bite if it's closer to the surface or closer to the bottom? The crankbait's a 3 meter, which is assumably going to be running near the bottom at this hole, but not really entirely sure. I don't know what the actual depth of this hole is because it's one of the unlabeled ones. Let's try, let me set this to like a 5 meter depth and see if we can get a gauge on that. I guess I'll start at 4 meter, see if it touches bottom when I do that. Yeah, I would think that they would be striking more near the bottom as well. So let's try to find how deep this hole is and do that accordingly. Hey, Few, no problem. Always good to see you stopping by. Hope life frees you up to have some time for some fishing again soon, buddy. Let's see. 4 meters might be touching the bottom. I think it's staying near the bottom as well. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna bring this up at like 10 centimeters at a time and see how that goes. Weirdly, even with the slider rig, it still takes a while for this hook to drop down to that depth. Actually, okay, that may be part of the problem there. We drifted out of the check mark and pull back into that. And let's kind of get into the center of the check mark and I'll drop anchor. A little bit more. Yeah. All right, so it's on 3.9 right now. It spazzes out over there. All right, so 3.9 seems to be like lightly touching the bottom. Let's bring it up a little bit further. Go to like 3.7. I really wish marker rods were not locked behind such a high percent in bottom rod fishing. It'd be great if I could just run that along the bottom here and get an idea of what the depth is and all that. Oh, looks like we're getting a hit. Here we go. Ah, missed it. That's a good sign. We're on the right track. I'm just going to recast this. I'm guessing the other thing we may get a lot of out here will be perch, which will be unfortunate, but fish is fish, I suppose. Actually drifting pretty cleanly there, so that area may be actually a little bit deeper. Keep it near the boat, I guess. All right, come on out, pike. Anything at all want to bite? There's a couple more casts with the Nightcrawler pieces of fish combo. If we don't have any luck, I'll try swapping some of the bait around here. About 0.2 to 0.3 meters from the bottom. Yes, I think that's more or less what I'm at right now. Is probably about 0.15 or 0.2 meters from the bottom here. We had the one bite. Hopefully whatever was hitting wasn't a fluke. Alright, so when it gets right about there, it seems to be more shallow, I think. Okay. Try casting way up this direction. And if we don't get any hits on this cast, we'll try some different bait options. We go back to the records here. Looks like all of these were pretty much on Nightcrawler, and that one was on Redworm and Nightcrawler. So maybe the pieces of fish is not as desirable to the pike. We might just be preferring the Nightcrawler itself. Come on, fish. All right, I'm gonna try swapping the pieces of fish out for, let's try a freshwater gammerus. Yeah, like there's a lot of details I wish the records would show you, like hook sizes would be a great one for them to have included. Like you mentioned, like an idea of maybe not necessarily say like what hole they caught in, but if they did like the grid number would be great. I think things like that would be really useful. We have a feature similar to that in, I know, Fishing Planet. I remember they had like fish markers that you could place and you could share those with other players where it would record all of the information for your catch. It'd be like the fish size, all of your tackle you used, the weather, the time of day, all that kind of stuff. And you would actually put a marker exactly where you caught it, which was a great system. I'd love to see more details like that on RF4's records. Congrats on the Bleak Trophy, Drake. All right, so maybe we need to try. Looks like the train's about to go by. All right, let's try some trolling again and try some other spots here. Actually, turn around and go towards the south a bit, towards the bridge. Okay, so these areas are a little bit more shallow, so I guess I need to drop this down to 1.5 meters or so. Go. And after I bring this cast and actually put the I'll put the spinner back out, or the not spinner, but the crank back out, so we can try to use it as a spot indicator as well. All right, so I'm gonna go and put that out. So I'll accept using a spinner line for locating fish. We're not going to use it as our primary means here. It helps us find a spot. I'm okay with it. It really seems like no one. I did see like some people have been catching some bream out here somewhere, but otherwise I just haven't heard a whole lot of mention of Volkhov lately. Yeah. What are you catching out there at Winding, Canadian? Looking for the elusive blue tag zebra mussel? Alright, let's go further in towards the deeper holes, I guess. Trying to get some gudgeon. Yeah, at some point I need to head out to Winding and try to get my trophy dace. That's one of the telescopic challenges. Haven't gotten around to going after the smaller fish on it yet. I'm kind of not worrying too much about those trophy challenges until I get the trophy rod, since it's going to make it so much easier to target them. Here we go. We got a central spot here. Another pike. Okay, so let's continue to troll around this spot then. Do about 2.5 meters. And put the pieces of fish back on. And I didn't let that out, enough line out on this one. Let me reel up again. Yeah. Speaking of mussels, you watch that video clip of watching the underwater action in Tunguska of the mussel grabbing the line and skipping away with it. That's pretty hilarious. We'll have to replicate it at some point on our streams. Head out there and watch them do that. So I'm guessing that the issue here is that Volkhov is just kind of asleep right now. Let me try one other thing. Let's take the fish pieces off here again and put some flies on, see if maybe we can attract an asp or something like that. Yeah, we're in the 10-meter hole here. We'll cresting around when we get back up to this bridge here. We'll go around this deep hole on this side. If we don't get any luck, then I'll switch over and do a little bit of Ladoga Lake. Try to get a few fish on before we wrap things up. Want to go the whole stream without catching anything on our telly stick. I think it is safe to say that Volkhov is pretty dead right now. Seagull or something nearby. Yeah, this is definitely dead. I think for the sake of not wasting more time, I'm gonna go ahead and swap on over to Ladoga Lake. I got my mayfly larva. That was my main goal out of Volkhov anyways. I don't know what it is, like since about 2 months ago, Volkhov just is a completely dead body of water. Kind of like the archipelago, they've both just been not worth ever going to. Which is a shame that it used to be such a good place to go. I know as soon as I unlocked Volkhov, I was there a lot. So let's just go to this spot over here. All right. I'm gonna set our lines up here. I'm gonna put size 6 hooks on with mayfly and pearl barley. We're gonna go for some trophy roach maybe. 2-meter depth. There's specific spots you can set all 3 lines up here. It's a little awkward because of the rocks, but let's see what we can do with this location. Mayfly, pearl barley. Can go that far. And third telescope back here. There we go. These all set up. All right, now let's go ahead and get some roach bait out there. Now we wait. So this spot, for some people, has been very active. I saw on the official Discord, someone caught like 6 or 7 trophy roach here in an hour. Let's see if we've got similar luck. Getting some nibbles on line 2, it looks like, and 3. I'm always playing with line 2 there. This might actually be a little bit too deep. Let me bring these down to 1 point. Nibbling away on 3. I'll adjust all these depths at the. I think the fish was not having enough space to pull the float down there. Go. So the other thing that is fairly active. This spot is Ripus, and I did catch one Vimba here earlier. It wasn't a marker. Nice little variety of species there. Probably a Ripus right there. These fish are not quick to take the hook today. There's some nibbles. We cast all these at lower, even shallower depths, like 1.5 meter. There's a roach. Hey, a float fishing gain. All right, I'll take that. That climb from 90% to 100%. It is not very quick. All right, another roach coming in. It was over 1 kilo, getting a little closer to getting a trophy there. A little shovel action. Nothing good. Yeah. Another roach. And another one. Coming in now. So the subject of shoveling, does anyone know if I drink already? Cheers. Good old water. Does anyone know if the 100% in bait harvesting, one of the things that says you get added as something you can scoop is water beetles? Is that the diving beetles? Because I haven't seen anything in the store or in records or anything that's called water beetle. You're for sure it's a diver, but yes, that's been my assumption. Eventually I'll be able to find out. Getting close though. I'm at 95.4, so I just need to buckle down on a couple more happy hours and go to town with it. Which the diving beetle is like, I've seen it show up on a few places, like I think Quarry, I see it on some of the records, but not very common. The Gambaroos I see on a lot of things, the rhino beetle larva I see on a lot of like catfish and stuff like that. And then obviously the muscle meats and stuff like that are gonna be really good for catfish and sturgeon and the like. This one in, cast it back out, and pull the third line back in. Line 2 here. Yep. Juggling all the lines. I might swap these hooks out for size 4. See if we can target some larger roach. Over here. Go ahead and start with this one. Let me throw this one onto a size 4. I got some rage size 4 somewhere here. I want to auto set the hook for some reason. This one swap to a size 4. And this one is, oh, it's an official one. All right. Another roach coming in. Two. Alright, got another one on. Ooh, a bit larger one here. I don't think it's a, well, that actually might be a trophy. I think it is. All right, here we go. First trophy of the night there. Let's recast. It's like size 4 hook was the answer to our problem. Alright, that one's acting like a possibly a ripus. They like to do the diagonal hook setting where they'll just bring the float down and diagonally. Further, nope. Which, if it is a ripus, those are going to be a little bit harder to set the hook on a size 4. Make it work. I do look forward to one day when I've got the 3 of those 5.6 kilo ultralight telescopics. It would be fantastic for here at Ladoga Lake. But that's a long way in the future because those are like 10,000 silver each. Give us another trophy roach here. We want this one. Ignore that one. Windows on 1 and 2 here. And 3. The byte rate here is pretty decent. We get the shovel here. Nothing good. That one too soon. Which this would be a good spot if anybody's trying to get some skill gains with float or bottom fishing. You have access to Ladoga Lake. Might be able to get some decent happy hour gains out here. They're going to be worth much because roach are pretty worthless. Hey, there's another float gain right there. Speaking of the devil. But skill gain's a skill gain. If there any trophy orders in the cafe. Good here. And imagine if you want to use this spot for skill gains, you could drop down to like a size 8 hook. That should be a pretty significant boost in bite rate. And another roach. It seems like if you're using the pearl barley mayfly larva combination, roach is about the only thing you're going to catch here. And I was trying it earlier with mayfly and stonefly larva. I was catching some avimba and some ripus as well. I always tempted to try double pearl barley on one of these, see if that does anything for us. Actually try that on this line here once I pull this guy in. Double pearl barley. I've been kind of curious about whether or not doubling up on the same bait for sandwich, if that improves bite rate, improves average size of fish, or neither. There's so many variables that it's really hard to test something like that without a really huge sample set of data, though. We'll see what happens with our middle line here. Another. Oh, here we go. We got something else now. Looks like a Ventus actually. Nope, it is a small little ripus. But that small, you can't see the little hump on the bottom side. Yep, slowly getting there. Level 32. We're at just under, I think, 25% of the way through level 31. Hopefully, the Norwegian sea trip will get me. I mean, since I am restricted to rental gear, I'm not expecting a ton. But hopefully it'll get me like a million and a half XP towards level 32. Yama's going to be fun, catching all those salmon on our telescopic rods. Really looking forward to it. Hey, that wasn't a bad haul there. Nibbles on one. Yep. And some too small to hook. So far, the double pearl barley line is not catching anything. Goes there. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I love the challenge. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And the other thing I'm really looking forward to at Yama, I'm going to spend stream after stream trying to find that bear to get mauled by it. It's secretly my primary reason for looking forward to Yama. Got a ad break coming up here in just about 10 seconds. That's to prevent pre-roll ads. So we'll keep on fishing through those. It looks like the double pearl barley experiment is not panning out. There's been no nibbles at all on that line. Leave it for just a little while longer. If we don't get any hits, I'll switch it back to the mayfly pearl barley combo. Take the whole hook there, fish. Very timid fish here. Recast that line. Yeah, silver's not our main goal, but definitely, yeah, spinning first for trout and salmon out there is quite nice. A little Ventus, all right? I got you. I will resume once the ads are over. Let's see. Another small fish going there. I'm definitely going to change this pearl barley one back to mayfly and pearl barley because that's not getting any hits at all. Which makes me suspect that the pearl barley itself is probably not doing anything for us. Let's go mayfly and let's throw some cricket on here. Yeah, that works out. And Canadian, are you planning on doing a stream after this one? No stream today? Alrighty. Working on some YouTube videos. Whatever that was, changed its mind pretty quick. It seems like this spot only has about 25 fish before it starts to dry up. Keep on hustling on those videos. Keeping up the good work. Are you gonna actually stick with it this time? Yeah, there we go. Another roach. The problem, so yeah, I was saying with Yama, spinning is definitely a better way to go about making silver, but I'm more about the fun, relaxed nature of the telly rod. Silver comes when it comes in. What I really want to do is find a reliable taimen spot on Tunguska. I've only caught 3 taimen so far on my telescopics. I just haven't been able to find a reliable location for them. I've kind of just got them randomly while I'm fishing for other stuff. But silver in general, I'm trying to think of what's been my most, like, here at Ladoga, when their spots are super active, I've gotten pretty decent silver here, but I haven't had that kind of bite rate in a while. Usually my best comes when the carp spots are active. Tunguska hasn't been too bad though, getting those broad white fish, and usually you can fill a couple decent cafe orders there as well. All right, I wonder if, let me try switching to Nightcrawler and pieces of fish during the night, see if we can't get a burbot out of here. Hey, Dentera, how's it going? All right, switch all of these over. Go. Doing good, thank you. Had a really nice trophy Dolly Varden. Nice, that'll be a... If I can catch one of those on my tellies, that'll be great when I get out there. Just one trophy roach so far. I've been trying some different bait combos and seeing what we get. The bite rate's actually been kind of meh. I'm almost going to switch back to the size 6 hooks because the size 4, the bite rate just tanked. We got the trophy on a size 4, but statistically, I feel like your odds of getting a trophy are better if your bite rate is significantly higher on a smaller hook. We tried a little bit of trolling out on Volkhov, and I just could not find a good spot out there. Got a slow bite rate but large perch, or large roach. Nice. Yeah, I tried the spot out here as well earlier, and they also just weren't doing well. It seemed like this, like the lake was active as like crazy yesterday and the day before yesterday, and it's already pretty much dried up. I might end up back at Tuba in the near future. It's been pretty active out there. There's been a lot of buffalo and stuff like that. And I know there's quite a few trophy sturgeon been caught at one of the spots, which I can get a trophy sterlet on these telescopics. To get a trophy sturgeon besides one of those would be a miracle. Maybe if one would bite like a meteor from shore and I just had the net out and ready, I could catch it. Yeah, when I was trolling out there trying to find a spot of Volkhov, I had a spinner line out to see if I could find where they're biting. Got 2 little pike, and then I tried hanging around those spots with the telescopics. I got 1 bite that I missed, but beyond that, it was just dead. All right, what do we got here? Oh, really? A tiny ripus on nightcrawler and pieces of fish. It's terrible. Hungry little boy. So, yeah, there is the larger capacity telescopic, and I kept thinking about whether or not I wanted to go to one of those, and I'll go by the shop and go over those options before we wrap the stream up here to go with my thinking on it. But ultimately, I think I'm just going to go for the trophy hunter instead, because the amount of fish that are between 21 kilo and 25 kilo, which is the highest cap, is such a narrow window for the fish that I feel like I'd rather go with the trophy hunting rod for the price. Like sometime way down the line, certainly I'll get the 25 kilo cap rods, but I don't know. If it was a 30 kilo capacity, hands down, I would go for that. But with it only being a few more kilo and not a whole lot of fish falling in that 22 to 24 kilo range, I just, I don't know. I don't think I can justify 8,000 silver for that. If I was making like Norwegian Sea halibut and Greenland shark money, sure. As it stands, where I tend to maybe get 300 silver a day, I'd rather go after something that get me more trophies. I got the first like 25 roach here pretty quick, and they dried up. Now that the sun's come back up, let's go ahead and switch back to mayfly and little barley. We'll give the spot about 10 more minutes, see what we can catch. Which part worked like that there, Logger? Bait scoop on here. I see someone's got a weekly world record for an East Siberian sturgeon, 23 kilo on telescopic. So does it not work like that? I was under the impression that those added skill levels were essentially it'd be like if you've already got those skill points invested, it means you essentially have 6 points instead of 3 points in the level, which would make it what is it? We go to one of the rigs here, so it'd be like essentially having plus 33% or plus 30%. Okay, it does work like that. Okay, yeah. So it's not a huge increase because the chance of getting a trophy is so small, anyways, and it's not obviously not 30% additive. It's multiplicative, but you know, if your chance of catching a trophy is 1% and it goes up to 1.3%, it's something. I just feel like for the price, it's worth. I'd get more value out of doing that than going with something that they can catch me slightly larger fish. But the ultralight is also a really good option because I can start going after some larger fish with that 100% XP bonus, which would be nice. The ripest there. I still want to know how people catch those 24, 25 kilo fish on the ultralight telescopic. That seems fishy to me. Pun definitely intended, but I don't know. Like you can do the trick of it being like right here next to the water and having the net out, but there's still that like it still takes a second for the net to register and actually try to get the fish. So I feel like when it's 5 times the capacity of the rod, it would just insta snap the line. Yeah, Actuba does seem to be where most of it happens at. I don't know, like if you can get them, if you had enough strength to get them caught on a rock or something like that, that's one thing. But when it's literally 4 or 5 times the capacity of the line, I feel like it would just insta snap. I've definitely had that happen with some fish, even on this 19 kilo line. As soon as one of those like 40 kilo carp gets on there, the line just immediately snaps. There's no opportunity to try to maneuver it whatsoever. So I don't know how they're getting it done. Almost a kilo on that ripest and a flip king like that. Got 16 on ultralight. Very nice. Yeah, like I can see like even like a 16. I can see that being more feasible. It's just once you get to those, I've literally seen some of those come up that are over 25 kilo, and the highest ultralight telescopic is either 5.6, 5.8 capacity. So like, I just feel like it would immediately snap the line at that point. You can go over the capacity of the line briefly, but that far over, I just don't know how it's happening. I guess it's obviously possible. It's being done. Just I don't know how they're pulling it off so often. Maybe I guess if you're using a leader, I guess you have a little bit of extra wiggle room because they have that like meter of leader length that they can move before they bring the line taut. So maybe that's part of the equation. One day I'll give it some experimentation, I suppose. Okay, that makes sense. I guess yeah, I guess if you're in an area where the current is like moving the fish along with it, so it's kind of doing the work for you, that makes sense. It still seems like you probably are going to lose a lot of hooks in the process. We're at the point where you can afford to go after that kind of fishing, I suppose. Replacing a bunch of hooks is not a big deal. Yeah, that's the. I think that's the key right there, is to be able to just go out there with like a few hundred hooks and a crap load of leader material, so you can just replace it on the fly. We got two on the lines here. I feel like the roach of getting smaller since the trophy. Um, my problem with Actuba though, trying to fish out there telescopic. I mean, I've had some luck, especially with wild carp out there, but what's annoying with Actuba is that there seems to be like a lot of divots in the ground, so you'll be in an area with like in a span of 3 meters, you'll have like a 4 meter variance in depth going back and forth. So like that combined with the current, it makes it kind of a pain in the butt to do some of the spots out there with telescopic. You're constantly fighting to try to find a depth that works and doesn't just get caught on one of the shallow spots or float towards the shoreline if it's too deep. To me, Actuba and Archipelago are both, because they're such A, large maps, and B, especially in the case of Archipelago, uh, maps that need a boat rental, and in the case of Archipelago, a very expensive boat rental ticket. Hey, there's a marker Vimba. There are maps where you can't. It's just really not doable to just go out there blind and try to just explore and fish randomly and hope to catch stuff. They're really maps where you need to have a spot that's already active that you know about to go after, which I'm not as huge a fan of. And I'm still a big proponent of the idea that maps should have a Class C boat rental option that doesn't have any boat holders and doesn't have a trolling mode. So the only purpose of them is really to just get to spots that you can't access via land, or to get to them quicker. There should only cost like a couple silver, even on the big maps like Archipelago, because I hate that for telescopic and bottom fishing, some of these maps like Actuba, you have to buy a boat rental, but you're never fishing from the boat, and it's not like exactly a cheap rental either. Even Actuba, it's still like what, about 20 silver for a 1 day rental. Oh, yeah, I think I'm thinking of Tunguska. That's got the yeah. I guess Tuba's like it's not bad, but yeah, like the archipelago, it's insanely expensive, and if you're wanting to just go out to one of those islands to fish, it's just a real big get wrecked situation. I really feel like transport boats that you can't like just throw some rods on and troll from to make extra profit would be a great addition. There's all these trophy roach at. Got the one early on, and since then they've all left us. Aggressive nibbler over there on line 1. Yeah. All right, so we'll give it just a few more minutes here, and then we'll cash all these fish in. Take a quick peek at the store, some of those rods to compare them. But it does feel like this spot is maybe a little bit dried up. You can get about 20, 25 fish pretty quickly. All right, posture straightened up here. Yeah. Stretch and all right, we're gonna do a triple hitter here. All righty. Hydrate up. Cheers. And a little stretch action. Get some vertical stretch. Get it side to side. Oh yeah. Arch the old back here. There we go. I really need to find a good active pike spot because that's one fish. I've only caught one pike on telescopic so far. I really want to find a good spot for them that I can try. There's a spot that was supposed to be pretty active on Oldberg, but all I could pull out of there was perch. So find a good spot to go for them at. Oh, well, I know we don't have any cafe orders we can fill unless they refresh. Nope. All right. Get ready to cash all these roach in. No, unfortunately, you can't use bait fish rigs on telescopic, which is a bummer. If I go in here and take a look here, you can do the carp rigs, you can do the slider. You can't use bolo, can't use match, can't use bait fish. I'm assuming you can't use the lure rigs. If you can, that's going to be hilarious, but I'm assuming you can. We'll find out once I get there, but figure out what our estimate is. I'm going to guess I've got 52 silver for one trophy boy here. 174 from Dentera. All right. A lot of these are probably going to end up getting turned into bait fish pieces. My policy now is that if I can turn it into pieces of fish and it's worth less than 2 silver, I want to turn it into pieces of fish. 144, we both overshot. 156 from Canadian, so we're all overshooting here, but let's see, we're gonna get rid of everything under 500 grams. Alright, so these can be kept. They're the perch. Okay, the pike I can cut up. That's about the only one. Okay, so sell those. I'm down a little bit. Well, actually, I'm not down that much because I did spend like 300 or 100 something silver on 300 mayfly. Doing too shabby there. So yeah, that spot over there for the roach definitely can catch trophy roach out of it, but the bite rate's only so-so, and it seems like you can only get about 25, 30 fish before it really slows down. Before we wrap things up, I want to take a look at those rod choices again to sort of see where I'm heading towards after. My first goal is to get bait fish harvesting, which technically I could probably go ahead and get it knocked out in one more happy hour, but I'm guessing it's going to cost me about 600 to 700 silver more in ingredients. And I don't want to use half of my silver towards that, so I'm kind of just doing a little bit at a time. Once I get that taken care of, there's a couple tools I want to get. I want to get the leader making tool, and I want to get the coffee maker from the workshop, and then I'm going to be saving up and getting my next rod. So the rod options I am looking at basically comes down to three, for three very different functions. Go here. We've got the Blade Master, I believe, is the... Yeah, so this is the trophy rig. Problem here, this is, I mean, that's over 14,000 silver for one rod, which is crazy. But it gives +3 to the three rig types that we primarily use, which is really nice. That's an extra 15% chance of trophy, multiplicative, not active. It's a huge price tag, which this is upped a little bit here because this is a penalty cost map. But I think it's still around 12,000 or so for the 8 meter on regular maps. Very nice logger. Yeah, one day I'll get there. The Inferno is going to be the largest capacity rod, so that's 25 kilo capacity, which you're going to be looking a little bit slightly under 25 with the line. That'd be the big boy rod. That's just my problem with this one. Why I'm struggling to justify the cost on it is that it's 25 kilo capacity versus what I've already got being 21.8. So it's an extra 3.2 kilo capacity. Just like, unless the sensitivity difference and stiffness makes a huge difference on being able to bring in those, because this one does have a much higher stiffness rating. If that makes it a lot easier to bring in the big fish, I guess that makes a big difference. But the other option is the ultralights here, 5.6 kilo capacity. So yeah, you can start going after some of the trophy whitefish and stuff like that. So that's my other option. All of them are going to take me it's going to take me a long time just to get enough to get one of these, but that's sort of the three options I'm entertaining right now. One day we'll get there. Let's go and do our end of stream scooping here. We get some good luck. And not good luck. That's all right, though. Yeah, that's what I imagine those ultralight, even though their capacity is a little bit higher, like, the flight of the fish can definitely, like, this is much more sensitive on those ultralights. But it's, like, being able to get, like, a trophy gibble or a carp on them decently would be nice. But the big thing is if you can go after some of those, like, Black Sea Shamaya and Citral without risk of breaking, like, my current ultralights are the big one is this Soul Pole, which is only a 3.5 kilo capacity, which seems good, but like if I'm out here on Ladoga Lake, a lake trout will snap a line off of this in a heartbeat. So it makes it really difficult to like target the things you're going after when the ultralights, unfortunately. But with that said, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. It was an okay night. The Volkhov trolling was terrible. I think Volkhov trolling just, it's been dead for so long. I hope it wakes up again at some point. It's just been a miserable map for a while. But other than that, I'm going to keep working at it. I'm still, like, if you can tell from my voice, I'm still a little bit stuffed up from the allergies going. We got a bunch of ragweed pollen in the air, just knocking me out. But as soon as my stuffiness starts to get relieved, I'm going to do my last Norway gold trip, and I'll break that up into two 2.5 hour streams, and hopefully get a decent bit of silver out of that and some XP to work towards unlocking Yama. With that said, I'm going to go and wrap things up here. Hope everyone has a good night or a good day, depending on your time zone, and some good fishing as always. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take it easy, folks.